Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you to this afternoon's webinar on unlocking deeper data insights with submetering with our friends from IMSERV. It promises to be another great session looking at how you can turn complexity into insight, help you to make sharper, more informed decisions to drive down costs, cut waste and manage your energy. And I think with that, I think we're ready to kick off, and I'll pass across to Dave, TPI and end user new business sales manager, to get us underway. So Jay, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. And you got the name right. That's perfect. Yeah, so thank you to Robin, our MEUC colleagues, for the invite and the opportunity to present today. Yeah, just as Robin mentioned, we're looking to present the opportunity to present on the benefits of unlocking deeper data insights with submetering solutions. Just a brief introduction into myself. So my name's Jay Dave. I joined IMSERV in 2010. I'd like to say back when I had hair, but that would be a lie. I've worked in a few different areas in the business, from finance to operations as a CRM, before moving to commercial sales in 2013. So now work as a new business senior sales manager. So my role was primarily to assist our TPI partners and customers with metering and data collection solutions. So that ranges from settlement, mop and DC services, water, gas, and of course submetering, which is the topic for today's webinar. I work closely with our customers internally with our metering and DC and field team to form operation and commercial viable opportunities. And we also have Brian Aherne co-presenting with us today.
Thank you, Jay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Brian Aherne, Senior Metering Engineer, IMSERV, and I've worked here for over 20 years across various departments, providing support for technical queries in the field and through the office, provide support for training, projects. We have a dotted line to safety, so we support the safety team in creating documents and RAMs and so on. For a lot of our field activities, as well as compliance. We also help with the surveys, design and the installation activities. Also assist the commercial team, as Jay mentioned. We've run customer sessions in the past as well in the office to give appreciation and an insight into submetering in a bit more detail. We cover low voltage, high voltage, multi-utility, electric, gas, water, heat, steam, oil, everything really that we get thrown at. We like a challenge, and we've been involved in submetering for many years. One of my main functions is to support the carbon team with submetering projects, which is what we're talking about today. For myself, historically, I began work in the industry within the distribution network operator environment, live cable jointing, working in substations, installation and maintenance. As an installer in the metering, moved into the metering section and managing staff, then moved into a more technical role. Also been involved in electrical contracting in industrial and commercial environment, and I sit as one of the quality supervisors for IMSERV with our ECA accreditation. So during my 30 years in the industry, obviously I joined at the age of 10, very young, you can imagine. I gained various electrical qualifications, and with my service and experience, this enables myself and my technical colleagues to provide a high standard of installation work, and we're very proud of our submetering services. Along with that, we support the techs and the engineers on their journey as becoming installers and competent electrical engineers. So we've got a state-of-the-art training facility where we make sure they're trained to a higher standard, work safely, and they're upskilled and develop their careers to carry out all the submetering activities and our core services. So that's my role and where I sit in the business.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Brian. And just to mention, as we take us through, there'll be a QR code which is available. So if you have any questions you want to ask outside of this presentation, feel free to scan the QR code, leave your details, and me or Brian will come back to you. So just touching into a bit of an outline of who are IMSERV and where we stand in the market. So what our operation is. So we're a long-standing metering service and data collection agent with over 30 years experience as an accredited agent. We collect data for over 1.2 million meters in the commercial market. We currently obtain data for up to 40% of all half-hourly commercial meters, and have over 300 metering experts in the field covering highlands, islands to Land's End. That's also been increased, the numbers being increased further by our acquisition of SP DataServe, now known as IMSERV Scotland, which will come with its own additional field resource, which is great for us in that area. Also, IMSERV acquired Astral Tech, which has now been known as IMSERV Astral. That happened about a year or so ago. IMSERV Astral are working in the background to develop a new version of our data monitoring platform. The aim is to have a phased approach with additional functionality coming on board, such as CRM portal to schedule installs, manage faults, invoicing, all of which will be coming on board with additional functionality later this year. So quite an exciting time for us, IMSERV, as we make some strategic acquisitions to strengthen our core services and bring in some new products and offerings to the table. So just a bit of an outline on why we need some metering, or why it's vital for you and your customers. So with the increase in cost of living, rising energy costs, and tougher government regulations have made it increasingly important for business leaders to understand where to target energy saving measures. So how do businesses get the insight needed to cut costs, cut waste, and help meet compliance targets? Well, with our sub-metering solutions, we can help, and we'll take you through that today.
Thanks, Jay. So all in all, what is sub-metering? That's the big question. Something IMSERV have been involved in for well over 20 years now, and myself personally been at the sharp end with the survey design and installation, project management and so on, seeing it right through. So sub-meters are advanced meters installed across single buildings or business sites to enable granular data insights to where and how your energy is really being used to help you power business decisions. As MOP, we install thousands of boundary metering systems as part of our core services, but these are mainly for suppliers and end users for the purposes of billing regarding the whole supply for the whole site from the DNO network supply point mainly. The key point being our customers need accurate, meaningful data to help them make informed decisions for energy saving investments, tenant recharging, network planning, and support with the net zero journey, as we've mentioned. So sub-metering is a key vehicle which can provide evidence for strategic and financial decisions. So where traditional energy meters provide an overview of the energy consumption across the whole site, the metering exists to give a more complete picture. So it really drills down and identifies energy usage for specific plant and processes and power and lighting, etc. You know, the defined points that want to be analysed in more detail.
Thanks, Brian. So in this section of how will sub-metering benefit my business, we'll just outline how it works, the compliance goals, and obviously the most important part as well, the cost-saving benefits. So sub-metering gives your business transformative data insights. Sub-metering provides transformative real-time data, giving you quick access to deeper data-driven insights that encourage and identify opportunities for energy and cost reduction. So the sub-meters can provide a comprehensive 360 view of usage, consumption, and cost across the portfolio. So understanding at floor level or the granular level really helps to understand how to better manage a building and its consumption. The sub-meter provide a detailed localized usage insights for businesses needed to maximize financial benefits, optimize performance, and adapt time of use tariffs. So really it is having access at granular level of data is key to understanding usage, help to empower you to make carbon reduction conscious decisions with your consumptions. And just going on to how the sub-metering helps your business cut costs. So there are a vast number of ways that this sub-metering can help. So one of the examples, for example, is installing sub-meters on tenant supplies to help provide you with tenant level billing when you may only have a landlord supply with 10 or 15 different tenants that might want to feed into that. Understanding shared or landlord consumption, machine plant monitoring for optimization, fault resolution for existing assets, and also help to spot operational inefficiencies early, allowing you to cut months of waste and fix equipment before the costs begin to pile up. Another example we've had a lot of examples in healthcare or in airports or rail companies. A lot of the existing sub-meters in situ are what we would call dumb meters. So replacing these dumb meters, which were predominantly read by an eyeball read or manually read, by IMSERV replacing these meters with AMR or installing remote comms, we can obtain the data remotely, thus removing the need to use existing resource in order to obtain those manual reads. So another great way of saving costs. Sub-metering also helps you hit your business compliance targets. So in the energy industry, as we all know, there are a vast number of schemes available for businesses which incentivizes energy users to reduce consumption. Sub-metering data helps provide insight to track your carbon footprint, meet your net zero goals. Also helps to reach your environmental, social, and ESG targets, which is really important for some of our customers. By helping to reduce carbon and support energy saving opportunity schemes, sub-metering provides the detailed auditable data required for sustainability reporting, helping our businesses to achieve regulatory compliance targets and secure funding. IMSERV have made a number of huge cost savings for our major energy users with our sub-metering solutions to date, empowering them to make some smarter decisions with managing their load, such as on-peak and off-peak. This has been in particular beneficial for some of our retail and manufacturing customers. And I believe, Brian, you have a couple of examples for us.
Thanks, Jay. Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm involved in the survey design and installation, as well as managing staff on site installing these sub-meters. Don't always get to speak to the customer directly to find out what the drivers are. But you know, as an engineer, I'm quite inquisitive, and where I do meet staff, I try to find out the reasons, which I find quite interesting. So build up a picture, really, what the customer are trying to achieve and what their challenges are. We had one large customer a couple of years ago, which was a large and growing food manufacturing business, and they were looking to manage their site's energy. Well, why? They were trying to expand the business, but they were on the edges of the capacity of their electrical supply. So they were having to consider either moving the premises, the factory as a whole, to a site with a bigger substation and electricity supply, or they were going to have to wait several years and pay an awful lot of money for an upgraded substation on the industrial estate. So they weren't easy decisions. So they looked into installing sub-metering to understand where they're using energy and how to manage their peaks and keep below their capacity that they already had. And this was something we introduced on lots of production line circuits, sub-metering, and they were able to monitor and manage and make engineering decisions, see which equipment was running inefficiently, or, you know, they were trying to do some load shedding and management of how the production lines actually operate to avoid any tariff penalties or risk blowing fuses in substations and that. So that worked out as a real good success story for us, and I saw only firsthand. You know, obviously the customers tend to see the spreadsheets and the numbers, but when I go to site, you know, I can personally feel the warmth from the cables and sort of feel the power notes going out the building. So it's nice to understand and see visually from the metering why pieces of equipment and production lines are using so much power and try to make some changes. So there was no more restrictions with their production, just better management really of the supply they had and the equipment. Their engineers could also monitor inefficiencies and problems with the equipment, voltage levels, current levels, and reactive power levels. So it gave a good insight into much more detail than just having a boundary meter with the whole site's load. So that was, you know, a rewarding project we had there. Another similar example was a big factory, production factory, where we were asked to install electricity, gas, water sub-metering. Again, we already had the boundary data, but the customer's challenge was to manage their monthly energy budget. They also had decisions to make for infrastructure investment, and they were comparing the same production line in Germany with what they had in Scotland. So, by installing the sub-metering, looking at how it's running and the efficiency of the equipment, because it was quite old, they could make the decision to invest in newer equipment. So the result of our solution was to install a full multi-utility sub-metering service to enable the business to make critical decisions. And it's basically having supporting evidence. So before they make any changes in adjustment, they have the evidence of their energy usage and profile, and then after they make the changes or new equipment goes in, again, it can be proven with this accurate information. So that was again another rewarding project where you could see real outcomes for the customer. And finally, just something that's kind of retail based. We do work in the commercial, industrial, huge sectors, big power users, and again, retail is a challenging environment. One of our clients is a UK business with several hundred portfolio sites, a well-known high street name. They've got similar footprint buildings in the UK and Northern Ireland, so exactly the same layout, set out, square footage area, very similar. And in Northern Ireland, they couldn't get hold of the data for the energy usage. So they were asking us to install sub-meters to monitor the whole consumption of the whole building, mirroring what the actual main incoming meter was. In that part of the world, the metering seems to be a little bit in the slow lane when it comes to installing AMR metering or getting access to data. So this is a good solution. Again, they're a 7-day-a-week operation. They open at 7 in the morning till 8 at night. So that was, again, had to be a well-managed project. We did quite a lot of installation prep work in the daytime and trading hours, minimizing disruption and downtime out of hours. So that was an excellent operation that we really enjoyed. And again, it was mirroring, as I said, the whole consumption of the site, but it was also to try and educate the staff to think about energy reduction and create league tables and made it a bit more fun and interactive. So you can see that having several hundred sites in the retail sector, you make small little changes and adjustments and it can lead to quite a big impact of cost savings. So again, just another really interesting project that we're involved in and we have scope to do.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. So just touching on next into sub-metering and MHHS, I think we all need another acronym in our life. So that's Market Half-Hourly Services, for those who don't know. So Market Half-Hourly provides major energy users with better settlement using half-hourly data. Sub-metering transforms how that data is understood, bridging the gap between whole building energy consumption and granular operational data. So market half-hourly power usage is on 30-minute intervals. Sub-meters helps to track that consumption down to specific floors, production lines, or equipment. This helps to pinpoint exactly where power is being consumed, helping you to adjust operations to minimize peak demand charges. Time of use tariff exploitation, which enables dynamic electricity pricing where energy costs fluctuates based on grid demand. Also, by utilizing sub-metering data, businesses can shift high energy processes to off-peak periods where energy is cheaper. So that's really useful for HVAC, manufacturing, charging EVs, etc. So accurate tenant cost allocation for landlords as well for multi-tenant commercial properties. So whole site billing becomes highly volatile under dynamic half-hourly rates. The sub-metering allows you to precisely recharge individual tenants based on their actual 30-minute usage, rather than sort of arbitrary estimates on square footage averages. So market half-hourly is all about better data. Sub-metering makes that data really work for you.
Thanks, Jay. So this is a bit of an insight into what the sub-metering journey will look like. So we've got 3 sections here. Really, the pre-installation part is where the customer will reach out to IMSERV and we'll establish together what your requirements are, what your challenges are, and try and tailor the needs exactly to you. And we're very flexible. So we can identify whether it's a single meter, single site, multiple meters, or multiple site, etc. We can arrange a site survey visit, and that will provide a clear and a cost-effective solution and a plan of how the works will take place and how the challenges can be met. From the survey, we then create a a proposal document which outlines the survey design, all the information that's relevant to any customer actions, the timescales, the labour involved, and a breakdown of the costs. So a whole overview of the plan. When it comes to the installation time, we've got our dedicated engineers that manage the process from start to finish, or you'll have a team of engineers with a lead engineer on site. We'll create a plan of works, work with your engineers, your facilities team. The level of installation will be, the quality will be second to none. Make sure it's installed safely and compliant. We are ECA members, which is a trade association within the electricity industry. So we've got to make sure that we are compliant and work to the required wiring regulations where appropriate. And we're audited on that basis, so we're very proud of that. When it comes to actually completing the installation, everything's fully tested, certified and signed off and commissioned. At that point, then we sort of hand over, and then access is provided through our analytical platform with ongoing support from account managers and support teams. So at that point, the equipment can then pass on through the data to you guys, and you get the support from our office and back office. So you can have an insight into the monitoring and managing the actual energy and reducing energy costs. So there's real value in sub-metering. Over the years, we've fitted lots of new equipment. We've also utilised existing equipment that's on site. And just for an example, when it comes to tenant-related metering, we found anomalies or miswired equipment that have been in place for years, so underbilled tenants for years, and we go along to put an advanced metering system in, and we record everything we found, evidence the fact that the previous meter might not have been recording correctly, and we prove that the new one is recording correctly. So we can pick up things. So there's a lot of value in having everything upgraded and brought up to spec, and we can pick out things that have been sitting there for years. So the whole process is pretty streamlined.
Thanks, Brian. I think we've got a couple of examples of some case studies as well, which you're going to talk us through.
That's right, yeah. So on the back of my other examples, this was a much larger scale example, really, of a case study that we used. One of our major customers within the global automotive manufacturing industry had some big challenges, a big global enterprise, and they were facing, as everybody else is, very high energy costs. They had some sub-metering, but it was very out-of-date infrastructure. They didn't have metering in some key plant. So they just had no insight into what was using, how efficient equipment was running. So the site was really large, and many sites across the UK, 24/7 operation, large energy consumers, massive buildings, many substations and load centres. So it was a big undertaking for us. But our solution to meet this challenge was to provide a full end-to-end sub-metering upgrade. Surveyed all the sites, we reviewed it with the client, came up with a design and a proposal, and from there we installed over 200 MID-approved fiscal grade metering points. So again, it's a success story, enabled the customer to reduce costs, make energy efficient savings and decisions, and support their sustainability goals. So yeah, we're very proud of that one.
Well, thanks, Brian. And just leading into why partner with IMSERV, so how we can help you in this space. So IMSERV pride ourselves in making the complex simple. We embrace the challenges that others may tend to walk away from. We work closely with our customers to help reach those net zero and carbon reduction goals. A national coverage for field resource. As Brian mentioned a few moments ago, end-to-end sub-metering solution from design, implementation, and post-install project management. Our comprehensive utility data streams cover a multitude of commodities from gas, water, oil, heat, steam, electricity. So we can help you in all those spaces. In addition to that, we also have a data analytic platform, which provides our customers with access to their sub-metering consumption data in half-hourly intervals on a day+1 basis. So from here, you have access, and this is the benefit to having remote access to Interval data is you'll be able to run alert reporting to manage peak maximum demand, league tables for multi-site portfolios based on site consumption, tenant billing reporting, weekend versus weekday comparison, operational versus non-operational hours. There's also available function to set bespoke opening and closing times, really good for retail. Also, the availability of crucial engineering data, such as power factors, voltages, current readings, all which is really useful to reducing carbon and saving costs. We also lastly to mention, we provide sub-metering in various industries of varying solutions. That stems from water and telecoms, councils, universities, airports, rail companies. We've also helped in several spaces such as the capacity market metering, multi-commodity sub-metering, data centers, for example, monitoring air conditioning units for optimization of server areas, battery storage, retail, microgrid solutions, hydro plants, and even secondary dial services, in particular for CVA supplies, so central volume allocations, and much more. So regardless of what industry or market you're currently or sector you're in, sub-metering can help you, and IMSERV can help you with that. There is a section on here just for a quick Q&A, but just again, thank you for those people who've stayed on the call and for our colleagues at the MEUC event. And again, any questions you have, please just scan the QR code, send us over whatever thoughts or questions you've got, and me and Brian will come straight back to you.
Thanks, Jay. I'd like to just sort of finalise and recap from my point of view, sort of an engineering background. I've looked at the list of attendees today and I can see quite a vast range of businesses and areas we've worked in before, and I can visualise some of the challenges. Big sites with lots of energy consumed, like universities, they have their own challenges, the retail sector, and big water treatment plants and places like that. Areas that have lots of pumps, compressors, generators. Again, sub-metering can be a key part of understanding how these items are working and becoming efficient. So, looking forward to working with our customers. IMSERV have scalable solutions, as Jay mentioned, whether it's single AMR, multiple meter panels, connecting to existing infrastructure, remote sites, tough comms locations. We have real-time data possibilities as well. So I'm looking forward to working with any future clients. Thank you.
Okay, so we're up at 3 o'clock. I want to thank Brian and Jay for their insight and presentation this afternoon. Thank Richard for all of his questions, which he always comes back with. I'm sure the cat would have had a better one, but there we are. And I thank those who are on the call and spent time with us this afternoon. If you do have any questions, get in touch or get in touch directly with the IMSERV team, and I know they'll be more than happy to come back and help. But thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Robert.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much.